The name Calverts, I'm not a founder member of the cooperative, but when the 7 founder members were deciding what to call their new venture, they decided to call it Calverts in honour of Giles and Elizabeth Calvert. Giles and Elizabeth Calvert were printers and stationers and publishers in the 1640s during the English Revolution, and they published and printed the texts of the millennial sects, the diggers, the levellers, the ranters, and were occasionally thrown in prison for their efforts. So it was called Calverts in honour of them. Our full name is Calverts North Star Press. The North Star is the name of the pub in Finchley Road where the cooperative had its founding meeting. The benefits of Calverts being a worker cooperative, it's the classic, in terms of the benefits to members, because like all cooperatives, we're member owned, we're member controlled, and we exist primarily for member benefit. So as in all worker cooperatives, the primary benefit is decent jobs, but also worker cooperatives are about a culture of equality and respect at work, the opportunity for members to develop their skills and to self-manage their working lives. So those are the kind of primary benefits of worker cooperation. But in addition to that, we have a very strong community focus, and Calverts was one of the leading, and still is the leading, green printing company in London. So we worked in the early days on the early recycled papers and ways of making print communications more sustainable. And we have a strong educational mission, so we work closely with the colleges, schools, universities, educating people not only in our trade and our industry, but also in our business model, the cooperative business model. So our ethos is, as designers and as producers, is to produce design and communications that's beautiful and appropriate, and above all sustainable. And by that we mean that it's environmentally sustainable, but also economically sustainable and very durable. And as I said, the benefits are around work. So we've been able to have a very good working environment where people can rely on having decent jobs. So we've not had to make redundancies, even though we've worked through recessions and downturns in the trade. Sharing in the good times and sharing in the bad times sometimes as well. The difference I think that our clients and customers find when they work with us is that because we have a very open business culture, and we have a very equal business culture. So what people find when they're working with us is, at first, we're very welcoming to people to come into our working environment and actually see under the bonnet of what we do for them. We're very open about the commercial basis of what we do. When somebody rings us up, we don't have a receptionist on the phone who routes calls. Anybody can pick up the phone, and the idea is that people get through very quickly to the right person. We're extremely friendly, we're extremely open, and we share our knowledge with our clients, and I think that's quite unusual for our industry, and it is a reflection of our social enterprise and cooperative ethos. We've been commissioned by the International Cooperative Alliance, which is the World Federation of Trade Bodies for the cooperative movement, to research and engage with their members and then design a global cooperative identity mark. So this is simply an identifying mark and some key messaging and images that any cooperative enterprise anywhere in the world can adopt and use to identify them. So it's rather analogous to the fair trade mark, for instance. The reason people should come and work with us is because we are or aspire to be, one, the best design practice in London for certain types of work, and certainly the best and the greenest printing and production company in London. So although we work with clients UK-wide, and we do have some international clients, we are very London-based, and our focus is very much on the communities and clients that we can work with who are close to us geographically. The future for Calverts is interesting. It's quite open in some ways. A big part of our business is printing, and printing is in long-term decline. The market for print is in long-term decline, 5-6% a year. So we're diversifying into other areas in terms of production. We're obviously growing the design side of the business, the creative side, but we're looking at other media. We're not going to go for big bang solutions. We're not looking at acquiring other companies or suddenly bolting on services we've never provided before, but we are growing in areas like content, writing, photography, illustration, exhibition design, film titles. But essentially the way we innovate is that we look for our members to come up with strategies and thoughts and inspirations for new areas of business to go into. So there's a constant conversation, and our growth is generally incremental, but we do see ourselves entering a new period of growth for the co-op, and we're also looking at some quite exciting ideas around how we develop really high quality apprenticeships. Because in our industry, we're a worker co-op, we're a kind of workerist organisation. We don't believe in unpaid labour and long-term unpaid internships, which is how a lot of the design industries run these days. So we're looking to design something that's a really credible alternative to that, and that will provide one or two or three people over the coming years with a really good entree and basic training right up to hopefully through to membership of the co-op, because we want people to stay with us.